Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanamsari Jamuna Tira Vanamsari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanamsari Jamuna Tira Vanamsari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Bolo, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gaura Pimanandi Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pri Vrajakachaja Stotra Sapta Sri Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandibiti Founder Charyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pimanande All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Takshurundalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhuktale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Shyam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakam Sanagaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivasha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. by regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee. All that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishtraya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Maha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangom langayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We are not quite exactly at the location of Varnashram College Foundation campus, but within walking distance, very close. Today we continue from the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, entitled The Lord in the Heart, and today we're doing text number 8. Kechit Sva Dehantar Hridaya Vakashe Pradesha Matram Purushamam Vasantam Chatur Bhujam Kanja Rathanga Shanka Gada Dharam Dharanaya Smaranti Kechit Svadehantar Hridaya Vakashe Pradesha Matram Purusham Vasantam Chatur Bhujam Kanja Rathanga Shanka Gada Dharam Dharanaya Smaranti Kechit Svadehantat Hridaya Vakashe Pradesha matram purusham vasantam. Chaturbhujam kanjaratanga shankha. Gada dharam dharayana smaranti. Kechit swadehantar hridaya vakashe. Pradesha matram purusham vasantam. Chaturbhujam kanja rathanga shankha. Gada dharam dharayana smaranti. Kechit swadehanta hridaya vakashe. Pradesha matram purusham vasantam. Chaturbhujam kanjarathanga shankha. Gadadharam dharayana smaranti. Kechit, others. Swadeha antaha, within the body. Hridaya avakashe, in the region of the heart. Pradeshamatram, measuring only 8 inches. How much is 8 inches? This much. It's quite big. Purusham, the personality of Godhead. Vasantam, residing. Chatubhujam, with 4 hands. Kanja, lotus. Rata anga, the wheel of a chariot. Shankha, conch shell. Gadadharam, with a club in the hand. Dharayana, Dharanaya, Dharanaya, conceiving in that way. Smaranti, do meditate upon him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we are getting to the heart of the matter. The Lord in the heart. Translation. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body, in the region of the heart, and measuring only 8 inches, with 4 hands, carrying a lotus, a wheel of a chariot, a conch shell, and a club, respectively. Kindly repeat after me. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead. Residing within the body. In the region of the heart. And measuring only 8 inches. With 4 hands. Carrying a lotus. A wheel of a chariot. a conch shell, and a club, respectively. Purport. The all-pervading personality of Godhead resides as Paramatma in the heart of each and every living entity. The measurement of the localized personality of Godhead is estimated to expand from the ring finger to the end of the thumb. More or less 8 inches. Where's the ring finger? Ring finger is this one, is it? Who got married here? Ring finger, yeah. From the ring finger to the thumb. Right? This one is the ring finger. So, yeah, that's about 8 inches. More appropriate. More or less 8 inches, yeah. But some people, because some people have bigger hand, some people have small hand. Baby's hand is very small. The form of the Lord described in this verse with with distribution of different symbols, beginning from the lower right hand and down to the lower left hand, with lotus, wheel of a chariot, conch shell, and club, respectively, is called Janardana, or the plenary portion of the Lord who controls the general mass. So this particular form of the Lord, having these 4 symbols in the particular position described here, is called Janardana, which means the plenary portion of the Lord who controls the general mass. And there are many other forms of the Lord with varied situations of the symbols of lotus, conch shell, etc. And they are differently known as Purushottama, Achyuta, Narasingha, Trivikrama, Rishikesha, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarsana, Sridhar, Vasudeva, Damodar, Janardhan, Narayana, Hari, Padmanabha, Vamana, Madhusudana, Govinda, Krishna, Vishnumurti, Adhoksaja, and Upendra. These 24 forms of the localized personality of Godhead are worshipped in different parts of the planetary system. And in each system, there is an incarnation of the Lord, having a different Vaikuntha planet in the spiritual sky, which is known as the Paravyoma. There are many other hundreds and scores of different forms of the Lord, And each and every one of them has a particular planet in the spiritual sky, of which this material sky is only a fragmental offshoot. The Lord exists as Purusha, or the male enjoyer, although there is no comparing him to any male form in the material world. But all such forms are Advaita, non-different from one another, and each of them is eternally young. The young Lord with 4 hands is nicely decorated, as described below. We will read what is described below because it has no purport. So that we'll skip that one tomorrow, but read it today, which is text number 9. We'll read again text number 8. Translation. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body of the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches, with 4 hands, carrying a lotus, a wheel of a chariot, a conch shell, and a club respectively. And text number 9, which further describes the Lord of the heart. His mouth expresses his happiness. So the Lord is smiling. His eyes spread like the petals of a lotus. And his garments, yellowish like the saffron of a kadamba flower, are bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord is decorated. His ornaments are all made of gold, set with jewels, and he wears headdress and earrings. So this is the beginning of the description of Paramatma, the Paramatma feature of the Lord, localized feature of the Lord residing not only within the heart of all living entities, but also residing within each and every atom of each and every universe. That is why the expression all-pervading, that is why the expression omnipresent. The Lord is omnipresent. Just like sometimes we go in some shop where they sell television sets, and they'll have like maybe 20 television sets. They all show the same picture, right? So Krishna is like that. More than that. Krishna, same kind of ideas there, that in a television set we can see the same picture. Everyone is seeing in their different homes. So Krishna is like that. He is present within the heart of all living entities. Therefore he knows. He's conscious because he's the supreme conscious. He knows what is taking place because he's present everywhere, and because he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he knows everything being the witness of everything. He knows also our most inner confidential thoughts. He's described in the Bhagavad Gita as the witness, isn't it? Therefore, nothing remains unknown to the Lord. Yogis generally meditate on this particular form of the Lord, and it also mentions how this particular form, four-armed form, is also present in the spiritual sky. Actually, the first volume of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right, the jacket or cover has a picture of the spiritual world, and you have all of these different paramatmas or four-armed forms with these different names that are mentioned here, 24 different names. The various symbols described here are in different positions, and they all have their own spiritual planet. So it means that there is even within this particular form of Paramatma, there is variegatedness, variety. Prabhupada explains how variety is the mother of enjoyment. When there is variety, then this serves as impetus for enjoyment. We generally prepare a variety of foodstuff, and the meal changes generally every day, somewhat, you know. So this this gives us a little glimpse of the because there is variety, therefore there is excuse me, there is attraction, isn't it? Attraction is very much linked or connected with variety, and therefore the entire there is variety here also in the material world, because the material world is a reflection, is described as perverted reflection of the original spiritual variety that is there in the spiritual world. And this super soul within the heart of all living entities is this is described in another section of the Bhagavatam, making reference to one particular Purana, yeah, whereby the Lord and the living entity, in other words, we have within the heart localized that the Atma, the small Atma, we were talking about yesterday, we were asking the question about Atma. In that particular context, the Paramatma was just referred as Atma, but there are two Atmas. There are two living entities within the heart. We, the small Jivatma, and the Param Atma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're described as two birds within the tree. Two birds within a tree. The Jivatma, for a very long time, is not even conscious that there's another one, that there's another bird in the tree, because he is too preoccupied in eating the fruits of the tree. That's how it's described. The living entities who are forgetful of their original identity, therefore on the bodily platform, they are busy in so many ways, gratifying their themselves, forgetting that that there is another entity, a very very special entity, sitting, and we can just imagine how how patient the Lord is, because he's just there following that living entity who continuously transmigrates from one body to another, from one species to another. And Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many lifetimes, that living entity who finally becomes aware that I'm not alone, that there's someone else. So when that small jiva, who we are, finally becomes aware, then he will begin to turn his attention to the presence of that super soul. That is the beginning of, we can say, developed consciousness, higher consciousness. Anamoy, Pranamoy, Gyanamoy, Vijnanamoy, and finally reaching Anandamoy, Anandamoy, which is what all living entities are longing for. So it's amazing how the Lord, in creating both the spiritual and the material world, he is fully, completely, all pervading, both within the spiritual world and the material world. And of course, in the spiritual world, everyone is fully, completely, every single moment, conscious of the presence of the Lord, interacting with the Lord. That same opportunity is there also in the material world, if one is fortunate to become awakened to that reality. And this also demonstrates the personal aspect. The Lord is a person. He is dressed in a particular way. He is decorated with earring, helmet, with a garland, and he is, this is also mentioned here, he is ever youthful. He is ever youthful. That is how Lord Brahma also describes Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha. Navayovanam. Eternally youthful. So in this way, those who are fortunate to become awakened, they can come to know and to understand about the personal features of the Lord. And that's why, of course, in our different temples, we have different forms of the Lord. The Lord is very merciful. He allows allows us to worship Him in different forms or different features, and in this way gives the living entity an opportunity to become engaged in His service. Yeah. Actually, there's a very long purport coming up here, but before that, the description of the Lord continues. Wow. We'll just read, since we're beginning to have a glimpse of the Lord here. Text 9. Yes. Unidrarit pankaja karnikalayi yogeshvarastapita padapalavam Sri Lakshanam Kaustuba Ratnakandaram Amlana Lakshmiya Vana Malaya Chitam. Translation: His lotus feet are placed over the worlds of the lotus-like hearts of great mystics. On his chest is the Kaustuba jewel, engraved with a beautiful calf, and there are other jewels on his shoulders. His complete torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. Purport: the ornaments, flowers, clothing, and all the other decorations of the transcendental body of the personality of Godhead are identical with the body of the Lord. None of them are made of material ingredients. Otherwise, there would be no chance of their decorating the body of the Lord. As such, in the Paravyoma, spiritual varieties are also distinguished from the material variegatedness. And this last one, text 11, Vibhushitam meka layangulik yakair mahadanair nupura kankana dibi snigdha mala kunchita nila kuntalair viro chamananana hasape shalam. Translation: He is well decorated with an ornamental wreath about his waist and rings studded with valuable jewels on his fingers. His leglets, his bangles, his oiled hair, curling with a bluish tint, and his beautiful smiling face are all very pleasing. Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the most beautiful person amongst all others. And the Srila Shukadeva Goswami describes every part of his transcendental beauty, one after another, in order to teach the impersonalists that the personality of Godhead is not in imagination by the devotee for facility of worship, but is the Supreme Person in fact and figure. The impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth is but His radiation, as the sun rays are but radiations from the sun. Therefore, in the Sri Ishopanishad, one verse is there describing how, please remove the rays or the effulgence, because the Lord is radiant, so that prayer is expressing how kindly remove this very intense radiance, radiation, or radiance rather, so that I can see your original transcendental form, which is being described here. Yeah. So, anything on this?
Lord also use oil, right?
Why not? The Lord uses oil. Yes. but not our modern oil. No, why? He'll use pure coconut oil. He'll use whatever he uses. It's all original and pure. You know. So there are coconut trees in the spiritual world. All it, yeah. Yeah. What we have here in the material world is very, it's like, when Krishna went to Indraloka, then that is when he brought the paritata flower. Yeah. So it means that there are so many, even within the material world, it's just like I have a garden, you have a garden. You have many things I don't have. This is on a small scale, right? So on this planet, like in some countries, I was just reading how the early fathers, the founding fathers of America, the early fathers, the founding fathers of America, I was reading this in the context of something else regarding agriculture actually. So it mentions that actually many of the founding fathers of America were farmers. And they loved farming, and they talked about farming. And whenever they would visit other countries, they would bring back seeds, and because they, George Washington, he was the first president of the United States of America. And Benjamin Franklin, these are some of the early founding fathers. And it was George Washington who mentioned that actually America will remain great. America will remain great if it keeps its focus on agriculture. Because this is another, we're speaking about the variegatedness. One of the major global crises we have in the world today is that we have practically destroyed the variegatedness within nature because of promoting monocrop, So this is a major crisis So Krishna, by nature, within Mother Nature, so much of variety or variegatedness, you know. I got a little glimpse of that some years back when my godbrother in Canada, who had cooked a meal, this was in Western Canada in Charnagati village, he was serving me. He's an excellent cook. So I was visiting there for a few days. And as he was serving me some potatoes. And he asked me, Maharaj, do you know how many varieties of potatoes there are? I said, no. He said, 5,000. 5,000 varieties of potatoes. And I was shocked, of course, to hear how many varieties of rice there are. Do you know? How many varieties of rice? Nowadays we don't find, or we don't know, most people don't know, but of course a lot of varieties are still there, but it's in the 100,000s.
100,000?
Yes, maybe something like 200,000 or 300,000 varieties of rice.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually, we see only the potato whole life.
Yeah, because we're so dull, you know, and we are so ignorant that we are destroying. Yeah, we are destroying nature in so many ways because of being dull and being ignorant, and not knowing about dharma, etc., like that. So this aspect of
potato variety like the sweet potato and normal potato like this.
You only know sweet potato and normal potato. It's like, you know, a blind person, an elephant, you know, what's an elephant? You start touching, oh yeah, this is elephant. So, Krishna's name, that's why, you know, this whole description that we read before of the Virata Rupa, it's like when we begin to analyze and to understand and to appreciate how wonderful is Krishna's nature, then it means how wonderful is Krishna, you know, because he has created the material world. It is his energy. So that personality who has created the material world, he is eternally present as Paramatma within the soul, and he himself is having all this wonderful variety, which is very attractive. It's just like there's so many beautiful people in the material world, and you know, beauty is something that is, we are attracted to beauty, but we don't know that actually the origin of that beauty, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita also, everything is but a spark of my splendor. It's just a small manifestation of Krishna's unlimited beauty, unlimited splendor, etc. Yeah.
Also, material world is very 1/4 of the spiritual.
Material world is?
1/4 part of the spiritual. And overall that
Yes. Is 1/4 of the actual creation. So, unlimited, yeah. Okay. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande. So how to close? You close it, huh?
No. So at here, You can just little bit skip it. It will come back button.
Mm.
So like so you press the back button. So the option will be.
Are you sure that you want to stop streaming? You
Then
say
you say
okay.
okay.